This is a history podcast.
True. It's serious.
Let's talk presidents. In fact, let's talk all of them in order.
Yep.
That was it?
Hold on.
No.
Just wait. Let's talk Washington, Adams, Jefferson, Madison, Monroe, Adams, Jackson, Van Buren, Harrison, Tyler, Polk, Taylor, Fillmore, Pierce, Buchanan, Lincoln, Johnson, Grant, Hayes, Garfield, Arthur, Cleveland, Harrison, Cleveland, McKinley, Roosevelt, Taft, Wilson, Harding, Coolidge, Hoover, Roosevelt. No, hold on. Give me a second. Hoover. Yeah, it's Roosevelt. Truman.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah.
Second.
Yep.
Truman, Eisenhower, JFK, Johnson, Nixon, Ford, Carter, Reagan, Bush, Clinton, Bush, Obama, Trump.
Did you say Obama now?
Obama. Wow.
Obama now.
It took me all night.
Damn, dude.
You studied for that all night?
No, it took a half hour, but it was pretty
That's
intense.
pretty good.
That's
Yeah.
insane.
I had to keep practicing. I was doing it before bed.
Do the
Like I was praying.
Do the vice presidents.
Adams.
Are you seriously going to try?
I could go. I think I could
Here's
go
a good
decent.
piece of trivia, and don't look it up.
Nope.
Okay.
Here's a quiz question: Who is Johnson, Lyndon Baines Johnson's vice president after Kennedy was shot? Who became the vice president? Your mother's cunt.
Oh man.
It wasn't her.
It was not.
It wasn't your mother. It was her cunt.
Her cum was a. Wait a second. This is a history podcast.
Yeah.
What if that was true?
You're telling me Jones cunt.
Yeah, because he only needed her for 1 year. And then
She's
when he
gonna be
ran
so
for
excited. She's
then
gonna
when
be
he
so
ran
excited to watch this.
then when he ran, he got somebody else, but he was like, he called out, Joan, I need your cunt to be my vice. He called her from Dallas. You know that famous picture of him on the plane?
That was
He called her right before that. I need your vagina to be my vice president.
all right. So let's start from the top. Mom, I'm so sorry that he said that.
I'm not. I never met your mom.
You
very-
held back. You held
Very
back.
sweet. She's
I
very
heard it.
sweet. Very
Your
sweet.
mom. All right. Let's start with Washington, dude.
Yeah.
What do you guys know about him? What do you say?
I mean, Washington is
Never
like
lied.
a transitionary guy because he was so British. He was a British general.
Mm.
He wasn't like a, he wasn't born in the America. He didn't create America. It wasn't even his idea.
Yeah.
He was just a tool of. He was the first general president.
No, he was born in the U.S.
No, I know, but he wasn't like he was a Brit. He was a
Yeah, he
He was
fought
a
in the
Brit.
French and Indian
Yeah.
War as a British.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's a lord. Wasn't
He actually kind of sucked in that.
In that war.
In fact, also kind of
Everybody sucked in the wars. Though.
everything he did was
It
retreating.
was luck to win anything. Then
Yeah. He was good at retreating. That was like his number one
it's an
thing.
important thing to be
which
good
is
at.
very good in war. They don't
Otherwise,
teach
you
that.
lose once. He would fight again because he retreated so well.
Yeah.
It's pretty tight though. Show up and be like, nah, and
Yeah.
just run away and be like, nice.
1789. That's when he started. All
Well,
right.
most of the guys, it was so hard. Like a lot of the army didn't want to be there
Mhm.
and didn't have to be there. It's crazy. Like 1776, the year that Washington did all that insane shit. It's crazy that people kept expecting the army to flee,
yeah.
but they hung in there with little. It's not like they were like, we're making America that's coming later.
Yeah.
They had no fucking idea. So he's as good as they were, basically. And it's not, like you picture him on this horse, like talking, but no, most of them didn't even look at the guy. They didn't see him. Like in the movies when they show a guy making a speech, to a whole army, and
Yeah,
there's 3 guys can hear
Yeah,
him.
it's impossible.
And the rest are like, what's even happening? And they're all shitting on
Yeah, it's
the
like
ground.
Braveheart
They're
when
all
he's giving the
dying of-
speech. The only
Yeah.
people that can hear him are like, "Shut up!"
Yes,
Those
yeah.
2 dudes are like,
Yeah,
"The
yeah.
English are too many."
The English are too many.
Home.
Yes, we will live.
Yeah. We will live.
That's a good
All right.
point. I never thought about that.
Yeah.
No one heard those.
No one
speeches.
hears
No one
English.
heard any of their speeches, so it was really these guys all got together. I don't know. They
They
got
stood
together.
there.
They decided to just keep doing it.
Oh,
I don't want to spend too much time on Washington.
Yeah, Washington. I
He's
was
played
never
out.
that. I never really. I mean, the great thing he did was leaving when it was time to go.
Yeah.
It was like the thing because a lot of them wanted him to be king,
Yeah.
and a lot of them wanted him to be permanent. He's the one who said the thing where they wanted him to be. Adams wanted
Adams.
him to be Your Majesty or Your
Yeah.
Excellency,
They went by His Excellency.
and he said, "Mr. President."
No.
What?
Jefferson was the first Mr. President.
Yeah, but Washington
Washington-
wanted Mr. President.
Washington went with His Excellency because Adams had this long one. His Majesty, all this shit.
What?
Washington kept His Excellency.
According to the HBO series about John Adams,
Yeah, but I looked into it.
Washington said, "I want Mr. President."
Maybe he did, but he went by His Excellency. Therefore, the reason he did it was because he didn't want to shake people's hands. And back then, that kind of
Because he was like Howie Mandel.
yeah, he was like he'd rather just
He was
have
a
people
germaphobe?
bow. I don't think he was a germaphobe as much as he just was like, this does command some respect. Because this is the first time in his life he started to get criticism.
Really?
Because when he was a general, everybody globally
Mm-hmm.
outside of England was like, this guy's the fucking
By the way,
man.
president. Like to talk about that word for a second,
Yeah.
what a president is. Like just an overall president thought here. What I love about presidents is that it's a human being, it's a person.
Yep.
And to me, like it's like like some college professors teach the Bible as literature. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they don't teach the Bible as a religious subject. They teach it as like what it's done for history and what the stories are about, and that kind of thing. I look at U.S. presidents that way. I don't have a political view about any of them. I just
Yeah.
think they're fucking fascinating. And president, the word by itself, like your president is nothing. It's not. You're not a leader. You're not a ruler. You don't rule. You preside. I mean, that's literally what it means. Is that there's a whole group of people that are running the government by the people's will, and you preside. You just happen to be there. It's like in the Senate, whenever they show people in the Senate speaking, they always say Mr. President over and over again. And they're speaking to whoever is presiding. It's never the vice president is literally the president of the Senate, but it's whoever takes the chair that day. Who's presiding? It's an incidental title given to an equal who is chosen for that minute to preside. That's what I like about it. That's what I like about how they framed it.
Yeah. When did they set term limits? I didn't even look into that because he just left.
Right. He was the first one to go. I could stay, but let's get
like,
this
"I'm done."
going. Let's get this started.
Yeah.
There's some famous moment where he was speaking to the Congress and they were trying to get him to king himself. And he was apparently really vain about that he wore glasses, so no one ever saw him with glasses on. And so the moment that's supposed to be this shocking moment was that he took out his glasses and put them on, and he said, like, "I fear I didn't see you for what you are." That was supposed to be this big moment. But I like to think
It'd
that
be funny
if
if he
he
was
did,
dumb.
like he was really hoping if he missed, he's like, "I fear I didn't see," and they're all like, "Yeah, you wore glasses. We all," you know what I'm saying though?
Yeah.
Like he keyed the whole thing on this moment. See what I'm saying? And they're like, "George."
Yeah, it's also a good moment for him to be like, yeah, you're right. You should not.
How
be
do you
king.
turn down
You're
king
trying to do
status,
funny
though?
jokes.
What?
How do you turn down? Like,
That's what
you
makes
should
him
be
the
king, and you're like,
That's what makes
no.
him the man, dude.
That's wild, dude.
That's what makes him.
Well, also
like,
he wasn't. Again, none of these people knew the future. He didn't know that he was giving away the keys to later nuclear war America.
true. Yeah.
He thought we were a dumb fucking like what?
yeah, and these were all
Yeah.
separate colonies.
Like
True, yeah.
if Louisiana became a separate nation, the first president of Louisiana might be like, "You guys, I'll do one term.
Yeah, I'm
It's
done."
good. I don't need to like hang in there."
all right,
So,
Adams.
Okay, Adams is like my favorite of those guys. Of
I
the
like
founding
Adams
fathers.
I like
dudes.
Adams from the show. I loved him in that. He's a great Paul Giamatti.
Well, I
As
read his biography. I listened to it. I don't read
As a
anything.
president,
Counts.
Oh, he was not a great president.
not at all.
It shows everybody's got these different kind of strengths. He was a great framer. He was one of the guys.
Yeah.
He did many very important and gutsy things. And he was also the only one of those guys who was not rich. He was a poor farmer. He was his education changed his life. He's like one of the first Americans who had that experience, where he was, had a decent farm, but not much, but he made his brain work, and he excelled and passed that on to his son, who we'll talk about.
He
John
fucking
Quince.
ruled in the revolution.
Yeah.
Adams was the man.
Adams
to
was
stick
the
to
man.
his-
And because these other guys, fucking Benjamin Franklin was just a giant perverted asshole.
I loved him.
Oh, he was great. And all these guys are
Yeah.
great. I'm not judging any of them, but he was of limited use because he was intrigued by America, but he didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
He never would have shed any blood or sweat or tears for the country. He just was interested, and he had a huge brain. So he'd lend it when he felt like.
Mhm.
He was also full of shit, like he was supposedly invented electricity, but some other guy, he saw a guy in his own autobiography.
What?
Hold on
He
a
saw.
second.
He
I
never
just watched
faked
Ken
anything.
Burns on him. I'm pumped on him right now.
Okay, so he saw a guy do the kite,
What?
and he was like, "That's cool," and he paid the guy for like the license to the gag, and he got one of his sons to do it, to go around doing it for money. It was just a thing that he picked up other people's ideas, which is its own thing.
He also, all of his inventions he would never patent, which is
Really?
pretty sick. He was like, all my inventions are for everybody.
Yeah, he was
Tight.
for what do you call it? Open source.
Open source.
But
yeah.
he did get a little jealous because all of a sudden, because he was the man.
Yeah.
He was the American that everybody loved.
Be
And
frank.
then then Washington became the man.
The general.
Like the French were like General Washington's the guy. So he got a little. He was a fame hungry.
Did you ever read his
Yeah.
autobiography?
No.
It's amazing because he has no judgment of himself. So he's the only, like, a lot of people that write autobiographies, it's kind of careful. But like he tells this story about he was living in London and there was a guy who worked for him, kind of like a half tradesman kind of guy who he befriended. And the guy had a woman he wanted to marry, a maiden, but he didn't have a position and he didn't have his own home yet. So, and his mother didn't want, I don't remember all the logistics, but it was that that he asked Benjamin if he could move his wife into his house so that they could marry. And he said,
Yikes.
sure. And he said, and she moved into my home. And then I took it of my pleasure to,
Fucked her.
to partake of her sexually. And she, spurned my advances. So I threw her out, and
Ruined
that was
the
the end
deal.
of their marriage. And I never saw him again. He was real upset, and I never saw him again. But I know both their lives were destroyed. And then in May, I met this other guy. Like he just talks. He did awful things to people, and didn't give a shit.
There's some pretty sick quotes about slavery too. That he was
Yeah.
like, I am racist. Like he was one of the
Right.
first, if not the only founding father to like constantly be like, I am bigoted.
Right.
None of them, everyone else was like, this is the law.
Everybody was like, Ben,
Yeah, shut the
this is
Yeah.
it's economics.
You're trying
Yeah.
to
It's
fuck
not,
this
it's not
up.
about
He's like,
race. And he's
something's
like, oh, it's
wrong.
totally about race.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were writing
Right.
the Constitution like, look, our hands are tied. We can't do
Dude,
anything.
they had to
about
break
it.
it out.
We can't do
So
anything.
he was, when he showed focus, he was of use to like the revolution. And the same with Jefferson. Jefferson was like a depressive fucking freak. And so he would just like leave Washington. He would just go like, my wife is dead, whatever bullshit. And he would get on his horse and just leave, because also he was a man of great wealth, and he had his life in Monticello and in Virginia we'll get to him, but the point is that Adams was just a doggedly hard-working. He was the only one who worked constantly.
Yeah.
And it was really the three of them in Madison, but he was the guy who did the hardest work to get this shit started.
Damn.
Yeah.
He also apologized for cursing.
Adams?
In one of his things, he's like, I lament to admit that I sometimes cursed, which I feel shameful about.
Also, when Adams did his did the Constitution of Massachusetts, the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, is like the most liberal document in the world, because Adams was like, he's like, I'm going to get it right. Everything that I couldn't get done in the American Constitution, I'm doing in this. And there's stuff in there about Jews having rights. There's even something about gay people in there. Like he was into
What?
like
Oh, wow.
gay rights, Jews.
Back
Pretty
then?
gay back then.
It's pretty gay, pretty Jewish.
It's gay to be a gay Jew.
It's gay to be into Jews.
Dude,
To be
those,
into Jewish rights in the 1700s was gay.
those parliaments must have been
Undeniably gay.
Undeniably
crazy
gay.
back then. Like, I don't know, what about Jews? People are like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
It's
what are
like,
you
come
talking
on,
about,
guys.
Jews?
Back then, have a
Stop.
room full of dude in powder wigs being like, boo.
Yeah.
Like,
And the Jews
slamming
looked
things.
exactly that they looked the same as they do now. The big black coats,
Exact same outfits.
same outfits, same bed.
Hold on, I got what Adams did while he was in office. He was worried that his logic was another country could just come take this at any moment. So he came up with the Alien and Sedition Act, which meant
Oh.
if you talk shit on the government, we can jail you. So he started arresting journalists. He started
Well,
immediately-
he was the first liberal who got befuddled by guys that back then it was another Democrat. It was Jefferson.
yeah,
Going like whatever it takes to win.
yeah,
It's always been like the different parts of American democracy, the different kinds of people, the people who are like, we got to get this right. We got to sell our good ideas and convince people we're right. But then the other guys who are like, we just got to take office. We just need to win. And nerds lose that fight. Adams was
Yeah.
the first one-term nerd president. There's a few of them.
yes, you're exactly right.
Bush the first is another one.
He's
to
a
me.
one-term guy. He was from 97 to 01.
Yep.
Let's move to Jefferson.
Jefferson.
He's number 3.
That's 01 to 09. He was a two-term guy. Adams was a Federalist. Washington was obviously independent. Jefferson was a Democratic Republican. He was the first Mr. President. Right when he got in, the French and the British started going to war. So everybody in America was like, fuck England. Also, France just helped us.
Yeah.
Fuck England. Let's join it. And he was
Although
the
he
only
loved the French. He loved the revolution in French.
Yeah, he did.
The Adams didn't, because it was bloody and horrible.
He didn't like the French.
He didn't, and Jefferson loved the revolution, and he had all his friends over there. He spent a lot of his life there.
Yeah. But Americans started being like, fuck England. Let's join France in the war. He was the only one with the foresight to be like, we have 40 guys in our military and 3 boats.
Yeah.
Let's shut the fuck up.
Was not.
So he declared neutrality, and everybody called him a pussy. Then England started blocking his like fucking ships. I think he might have been the one who said we're just not going to trade with either of them. So then the American economy just plummeted. England started just saying, if you're not trading with us, we're just going to confiscate your ships, kidnap all the sailors, make them join the British Navy. So he was
What?
getting punked by England.
You're talking about Jefferson.
Jefferson.
Well, it's interesting because Adams, what ended his presidency was a fake rumor that Jefferson started, that Adams was trying to start a war with and start a navy and do all this stuff, and it was all fake. But then it ended up kind of haunting Jefferson,
Yeah.
because the truth about all that ended up fucking him a lot.
Huh.
One thing interesting about Jefferson is because he's so famous for having had a slave and having had like 50,000 slaves,
Yeah.
or whatever, not that many, and having had children with his slave, and I don't think he ever even gave her
didn't free
freedom.
them.
Didn't free.
He didn't free the kids.
He didn't free a
Didn't free the
couple. I think he
kids,
freed a
didn't free
couple.
her.
freed 2.
Yeah.
And the rest he kept enslaved until he died. And what was interesting about them
Damn, he did the ultimate because I said so.
is so, like that. Can I stop being a slave? He's like, no. I said no. They were like white.
Really?
His slave children, the woman that he had
Sally.
kids with, Sally,
Yeah.
was like half white, or like was very light skinned.
Yeah, I think her mother, because her mother was in his family for a long
Yes,
time.
and his dad was fucking like.
Yes.
I mean, it was like
What?
she was kind of a product of his father.
I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure
yeah.
about that. But it's
Some
but an
wild,
interesting
dude.
thing
Whoa.
about him in terms of slavery and American politics is that his first elected position was in the Virginia legislature. He was like a House of Reps guy in Virginia. And the very first act he ever did, first thing he ever did as a politician, was to propose a bill in the Virginia government to abolish slavery in the state of Virginia. It's the first thing he did.
Whoa.
Of course, it got shot down, but it was his was his desire and his dream.
Yeah, because he was big on that with the French Revolution.
Yes,
With
and
Lafayette and
yes, and all of these guys, all of these early guys wanted slavery out, but there was no way the South was going to do it.
Yeah.
And they wanted the Southern, because so the choice was to have like just 2 countries or 4 countries over here, or have a unified country and just deal with it.
Yeah.
We're going to have slavery, but create a framework where in the future, when it becomes possible, when things change, when things get more modern, we can get rid of it in the future.
And I could be wrong, but I think the North had abolished slavery early, like 1806, which is while Jefferson's in office. I could be wrong.
I don't know.
It was around the exact same time as England. In fact, maybe before
really?
the North. We were right. Us Northerners, we got it right.
A fun Jefferson story that I like is that when he was in Paris, he had this woman, a girlfriend named something Causeway or something. His wife died when he was pretty young, and she made him promise on her deathbed that he would never have another woman, which is a horrible thing to do.
Yeah, fuck,
to
man.
a young man that you're fucking.
Yeah, it's like
not even somebody to take care of the kids they had.
It's like, no, I promise.
Yeah, and no, but he's
oh, for sure.
So it was part of the reason that all of, including Sally Hemings, that his loves were all secret because he was ashamed of every woman that he loved after that.
That's hot.
And so there was a woman in Paris. She was a British painter, and her husband. She was a woman. She was married, but she was a painter, and she fell in love with Thomas Jefferson, and they were very much in love with each other. But then the way they broke up was very funny to me because he wrote her these beautiful letters. She was in love with him. He was in love with her. But then the French, when he was leaving France, they wanted a great portrait of him to put in the National Gallery. And they said to him, you can choose any painter in the world. And he was like, no, I want, a real guy. And his girlfriend was like, why not me? And he's like, baby, come on. I mean,
like,
you're good. You're good, but you're not like fucking grown man good. You're not like fucking, I'm not for history.
True. These guys were that's the weirdest thing, how history they were like knowing they were going to get sucked into history, which is crazy to think about.
So here's a good one because we got to speed up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he goes over, so Napoleon's in there in France.
Yeah.
Post-revolution. This is the Louisiana Purchase. They sent James Monroe over. That was his bro. He goes to France. They thought they were negotiating the sale of just the port of New Orleans. This is all thanks in part to the fucking Haitian Revolution, which fucked France. Look into the Haitian Revolution. Yeah. It rules. He gets over there. Monroe finds out, they're trying to sell all of the Louisiana. Like, it's from New Orleans to the Rockies to Canada. It's huge. From the Appalachians to the Rockies, basically. And they didn't have time to consult Congress. So Thomas Jefferson just bought it on the spot, which he was like, so Missouri was becoming a state. It was another slave state, pro-slavery.
Yeah,
so every time they added a slave state, they'd have to add a free slave.
Free one to make sure it was balanced.
Yeah.
So that's when we added Maine. Missouri got to be a slave state. That's it for him. John Quincy Adams.
Yeah, so John Quincy Adams was Secretary of State. John Quincy Adams had a big role in Florida.
Yeah.
And he had a big role in that compromise. That was a big part. He was a statesman. John Quincy Adams, fucking fascinating guy. I read his biography. The thing about him and his father is that they wrote copious, really long diary entries, so we know a lot about those guys. But he traveled with his father to England. He was like the last link to the Great Revolution. Yeah. Because he was with his father wherever he went, and he took him to France. He ended up being a diplomat. He was the first American ambassador to Russia. He lived in St. Petersburg, Russia. And him and his...
Oh, wait, was he the one who helped them kind of revolutionize?
I don't...
Or was that before?
Remember that.
Okay.
I mean, but he was in Russia way back then. He'd take like a sleigh to countries that aren't there anymore, like Prussia. And he traveled all over. He traveled more than any like human being back then. Yeah. And he went across the ocean several times. So like something like 12 times back and forth.
Now
amazing guy, incredible guy.
His opponent was Jackson in this election.
Yeah.
Jackson dominated. He won the popular vote by a greater margin than Reagan beat Carter. It was a landslide victory. for him. But Jackson, in the Battle of New Orleans, came out and said all the guys from Kentucky were being fucking cowards. What? So then when it comes to the Electoral College, the guy counting the votes happened to be like a senator or something from Kentucky.
What?
And I was like, fuck this guy. And he just swung like 10 states. Because back then the Electoral College made perfect sense. Nobody in any state had ever heard of one of these guys. Mm-hmm. There was no news. There was no fucking anything.
Now you needed somebody. Yeah, you needed super delegates.
You needed
to
just get your local guy.
Yeah.
And be like,
you go figure it out.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that was enough for this guy to swing all these dudes in the meetings to be like, dude, Jackson's a fucking dickhead. We need John Quincy Adams. So he swung. I mean, it was
John Quincy Adams was another nerd, one-term nerd.
Yes.
Who just couldn't get, I mean, as a president, he couldn't get, and he got almost nothing done. Partly because Jackson and his people just thwarted every single thing
Jackson
he tried.
The whole country loved Jackson.
Everybody fucking loved that dude.
He was Trump.
So much.
He was Trump.
Imagine if Trump like dueled as much as
Jesus Christ.
Jackson died with
dudes.
something like 12 bullets in his body.
Yeah. What?
That never left his body. He dueled all the time.
Yeah, let's just go straight to Jackson. Jackson, he's the next president.
He can't not be mentioned, John Quincy.
JQA.
Yeah, fuck John Quincy.
John Quincy Adams, well, after his presidency, he was in Congress forever from Massachusetts. Yeah. He died at his seat in Congress.
Wow.
He died at his desk. He was because his thing, he was a huge abolitionist. He was like the only guy in the Congress willing to be an out and out. The slave states had so much power that they passed a gag law that said you can't say the word slavery in Congress.
What?
There used to be, there was a thing in Congress back then called petitioning. Anyone could send a petition to their congressperson and they had to say it, they had to mention it. So like you could send a thing to Congress saying, I want retards to be allowed to drive, whatever you would do. I want retarded people to have driver's license.
Yes.
And he would say, he'd have to go, okay, the petition from Shane Gillis, he wants retards to drive.
The honorable.
And everyone would go, I move to table it, and then they just table it. But they passed a law saying you couldn't even mention a petition that said the word slavery, because that's how electrified it was. Like, we don't want anybody. We know you're trying to get rid of slavery. We don't even want you to say. And they passed it. So Quincy Adams would do it, and he would just break the law, and he would just say it over and over again. He would read petitions about slavery, and he would get sent. Then they would all vote, the whole Congress, to censure him for going against the rules, and he got censured over and over again. And he represented the Amistad slaves and got them set free. Yeah, did you know that?
No.
Yeah, he was the slave ship that was taken over by slaves and was grounded in Massachusetts, I think.
So he was saying the S word. He got in trouble.
Yeah,
he got not only in trouble. Those slaves asked him to represent that. He was their lawyer.
What?
Because they were Virginia slave masters who were they were Haitian slaves that they were waiting for, that they had paid for. But he found a way it wasn't like a slavery is wrong trial. It was, you guys don't have a receipt trial. It was like, you ain't got the paperwork, go fuck yourselves. So they were free. But he died. He was in the middle of a big impassioned argument. He was yelling and he had a heart attack. And he died right there with the whole Congress around him,
watching
because people loved that guy.
Yeah,
he was a great guy. He was the first president or former president to ride on a steamship, and he used to ride on the steamships with a blanket over him, and folks would surround him. All the passengers would surround him, and he would just tell stories. He was a great guy.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Man, I didn't know any of that.
There's just a part of me that liked Jackson.
Jackson's great, but
and
again, to me, I look at all these guys, I evaluate them as characters. They're all great, amazing characters. They all did awful things,
of course.
Yeah,
but Obama fucking bombed, fucking weddings.
Obama.
But yes, Jackson was a crazy but shrewd. A great thing about Jackson was that his inaugural party in the White House.
Yeah,
this is wild.
They
stormed the Capitol.
He invited everybody. That's exactly right.
He
invited everyone. He said anyone that wants can come. No invitation needed. It's the people's house, and the house was crammed with common people getting drunk,
Just got
stealing shit,
destroyed,
and
the
they
whole
wouldn't
place.
leave. And there's a honor code in the White House. You don't ask someone to leave. You don't ever throw anybody out. So they couldn't get them. Like days went by where people are shitting on the floor and raiding the fucking pantry and just fucking people and whatever.
What?
And so what they did was they got huge kegs of beer and they put them on the lawn. And they said, "Hey, come out. Let's drink under the stars. Let's have, And they invited them out for beer on the lawn, and they all came outside and they locked the doors. That was how he was a people's president.
Yeah,
Like
he was
there
the
was
first
some
populist,
in his
first guy. Yeah,
first one to appeal to the common person. There was an author, English guy. I read his biography of him, and they have one account of an English traveling writer who would write travel logs. And he was in Washington and he thought, what is it like? Can you meet the president? And he just walked. There wasn't a fence around the house.
People just could walk in and
so
see
he
him.
just walked to the front door and he knocked on the door. And a butler came to the door and said hello. And he said, I'd like to meet the president. And he's like, is he expecting you? He goes, no. And the butler's like, all right, well, come in and sit down. And he went in. The guy waited like 20 minutes. And Jackson came out of his office, which was like full of people, and he said, I'm in a pretty important, like, who are you?
Yeah.
And he said, I just wanted to meet you and say hi. And he was like, the thing I liked about, I gave you that book about Lincoln. Yeah. That's a great, what's his name? Carl Sandburg. It's a weird kind of stream of consciousness telling of Lincoln's story in 4 volumes. It's crazy. Just the warriors, just from when he took office. And, when he was coming here, there was everything. Hell was breaking loose, and there was supposed to be a January 6th. There was supposed to be one.
What?
There was a plan to stop the certifying of the vote. Mm-hmm. And so they went to General, what was his name? He was the only American general then because we didn't fight wars anymore.
Yeah.
So the Army was kind of like not,
I think he was the commander.
It's a name you just know when you hear it. Like Scott something.
Oh, yeah, Winfield Scott.
Winfield Scott.
Yes.
Perfect.
So they went to Winfield Scott, the guys running the government, and then they said, we think there's going to be this thing where they're going to try to stop the so he said if anyone, made a declaration, publicly, he said, if anyone tries to stop the counting of the votes and the democratic process from happening, either by force or by infiltration, I will stuff them into my cannon and fertilize my lawn with them. That's what he said.
Lincoln said that?
That's what he said.
What?
No, Winfield Scott.
Winfield Scott said that.
Yeah, and what he did in real fact, because he was a really smart guy, he gave all of the Capitol Police and all those guys that they had the day off. He said, go home. And he went and got policemen from Baltimore, from New York City, all kinds of like badass cops. And he had them in plain clothes all over the Capitol, heavily armed, but in plain clothes. So, and people know, so if somebody started something, the guy would just go like this or elbow him or whatever. Yeah. But the appearance was that it was peaceful and that there was no military presence.
Whoa.
But nothing happened. That's what it took to get Lincoln. Everybody, up to the minute that happened, everyone was like, I don't know if he's ever going to take office. Yeah. People believed he would never be president.
Dude, he wasn't even on the ballot in the southern states. Not even on the ballot.
Yeah.
What?
He didn't win one southern state.
A lot of people, big people who would be like whoever now, wrote long things saying, don't take office. Your presidency, your victory is hollow. Mm-hmm. It's not real. Not even just people from the South, but people from the North. Everyone was afraid that Lincoln was going to just immediately free the slaves and start war with the South. And his first inauguration, he says, first thing out of his mouth is, I have no intention of freeing the Southern slaves or changing their slave laws. And yes, we will chase down and bring you back your slaves when they come up here within reason. He puts like a tiny thing of like, we're not going to like make it our obsession, but we will do it. Like, it's the first thing out of his mouth.
That's what bothers me about people, like people that are critics of him hang on to that. And they're like, Lincoln didn't want to do it. It's like, dude, the whole time that's what he wanted.
Of course he did. That's what, again, it goes all the way back to the framers. They all wanted this to be a better country than it was. So they knew they couldn't create a nation without slavery. So they said, let's create a nation where people can change peacefully. They can change not only leadership, but the laws. create a situation where people figure it out for themselves and move forward and change, instead of like a constitution could have been a very permanent thing. It could have been a very solid permanent thing, but they actually made it elastic on purpose. And that's, Lincoln was like, we'll do it, guys.
Yeah.
We'll do it. We need some fucking time. And boy, what it cost is crazy. And a lot of people who didn't want slavery were really angry at Lincoln for how hard he pushed that war, and that he didn't just settle it. Just let the South do whatever they want. We have our free blacks here. Let them take their chances down there. You're killing millions, or however many fucking, I don't know how many people it was. Like 250,000 people died in the Civil War.
Yeah, probably around there.
Something like about how many we killed in Iraq in a day.
Yeah,
pretty much.
True.
For doing nothing.
Less than Middle Eastern civilians.
Yeah. Measure it in like Persian weddings.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, it was. Yeah, Lincoln's the best.
He was really something. I mean, it just took a lot of political guts, a lot of fuck.
Yeah.
This is gonna suck.
Just trying to talk to these fucking cunts from the South.
That must be nuts.
That it's just like, clearly this is for money. You know it's wrong.
Yep.
You know it's wrong.
Yeah.
It's 1865.
Well, it was the ultimate
1860.
time.
They know it's wrong.
One, folks not wanting to say that shit's wrong.
Yeah.
And him like not making them say it, but getting them to just one guy at a time. He would just go around, get support here, get support there, put muscle in where he had it, and he fought a brutal war, fucking a incessant war.
And he had to wait until he got a victory to fucking announce the Emancipation Proclamation. He was trying so hard to get it out, but his generals kept fucking up and losing. And he would just be writing to these dudes like, go.
Yeah, please.
Do it.
Get one.
Get one. Like, I think he wrote it after Antietam, which was like a draw. He's like, that's pretty good.
Yeah, he did.
He's like, that's close enough. Here we go. We're
then
doing
he's
it.
Shot.
Yeah, and then he got his fucking head blown off.
By next to his wife.
Yeah.
And they put a little napkin, but that was what they did for him. They put a little napkin back there and hoped, but it was not a good. It was not a very.
He was alive for a while after.
Yeah, that's what
he
I'm saying.
He didn't just die right away.
He didn't have to die at all.
Yeah.
He didn't die right away.
Death.
Really?
Yeah.
Bled to death.
He was like alive in the
He's like,
hotel for like
and
a
they're
day.
like, we don't know how to do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. What play was he saying? Does anyone know?
Fuck, I do know.
What play?
What was the play? It was at the Ford's Theater.
I don't remember the.
See what he was watching.
Yeah, it was something good.
Yeah.
He was fixated.
He was into it.
He didn't notice the assassin.
That's the weird thing. It was Hamilton.
Yeah, it was Hamilton.
Yeah.
He was sitting there like, what was it? Nice. He was sitting there watching it like, I got to pretend to like this.
Yeah.
It was fucking Hamilton.
And then they shot him and he was like, thank God.
This place sucks.
Christ, this shit sucks so bad. So that brings us to Johnson.
So Johnson was the first guy to be impeached.
Was he impeached? Oh, yeah.
First guy to be impeached, yeah.
Johnson shows up. This is great. He was like a tough guy. He was supposed to be the counteraction to Lincoln.
Well, he's one of the reasons the war was prolonged, because everybody knew if we could just get rid of Lincoln. Johnson was behind him there was a deal to be made. It was like don't talk outside the family. He was like, Sonny liked my deal, didn't he? Sonny was hot for my deal. Yeah. Johnson would have fucking settled in a minute.
Johnson started his life as an indentured servant.
No shit.
And worked his way up. How sick is that?
That's impressive.
And then before his inauguration, he got fucked up on whiskey and just couldn't talk. His inauguration, it was in the rain and the mud right after Lincoln got shot, and everyone was like,
first one. He's the one who proved you can impeach a president, but you cannot get the fucking votes. It's a waste of time, and he ends up stronger.
Yeah,
it's the dumbest move in the world. It's vanity.
Yeah,
it's just Congress hates the president. It's just bullshit.
Yeah,
but it doesn't accomplish anything. I don't remember why they went after him. Whatever. He was very corrupt. He's a fucked up guy. I don't. Who knows? It's all shit that I heard because of them. But they impeached him and then failed to get rid of him.
Really?
I know nothing else about him. But
I don't know either.
But then fucking
Grant.
Amazing guy.
Great guy, amazing guy. I feel like his presidency was a bit of a fucking letdown for how cool he was.
I mean, he did so Christing much. This guy.
Oh, true.
Grant.
To help the South, he was pretty good.
What did he do?
Well, and he was. First of all, some people get on him because he owned one slave.
Oh, man.
Because his father-in-law, his wife's father,
yes,
hated him because he was an abolitionist. I mean, he wasn't like an active abolitionist.
Sure.
But he was against slave, just for not having a slave.
Yeah.
Back then, if you didn't have a slave, you were a dick to certain people.
Yeah.
So
you were like, put on a mask.
Yeah.
You were that guy. You were like, why do you have slaves?
Yeah.
And they're like, why is this guy making me feel uncomfortable?
Yeah. So he hated him because he had slaves and he didn't want one. So he gave him one as a wedding present, like to spite him.
What a dick.
Yeah. So
Jesus.
So Grant made the guy his partner. And they started a little business together, which he then freed the guy and gave him the business.
Yeah, he
made
would
that
go.
guy's
He would go
life.
work with the slaves.
But
He'd be out there with them working.
Yeah,
and then while he was like financially ruined,
yeah,
he freed his slaves instead of selling them.
But he had one though.
I'm not sure. He might have had one at that
That's
point.
the story I just told you.
Yeah.
Is, I think his slave story. I don't think he had a bunch of them.
He had one slave and he freed him instead of selling them.
But his father-in-law,
and he gave him a business that he had started with him.
Yeah, his father-in-law history fucked him. He was like,
that's right.
That's
right.
Here's
and then he was in the
did,
army.
Absolutely.
He was in the army, and he went. One of his first jobs was outpost near San Francisco. It was in the middle of nowhere. There was no. I mean, it was in the desert of California. He was the only one there, and he was a family man. He loved his family.
He missed his bed.
Missed his family so much, and he started just getting drunk. And somebody came to drop the mail and found him passed out drunk, and that was his only experience with alcohol. He was a very rigidly living guy, and he was known as a drunk for the rest of his life.
Really?
There's
Every
arguments.
time he had a political problem, they'd go, "He's drinking."
There's arguments. There's rumors he was fucked up at Shiloh.
Because he sat under a tree in the rain. They found him sitting under a tree in the rain outside of a military hospital.
It also is funny because Shiloh, he woke up on day 2 of it.
Yeah.
At like the start of day 2. Or maybe it was the start of day 1 when it started. He was late to get there. So everybody was like, he was hammered. But if he was hammered, that's very funny. To be like, oh shit, there's a war.
Like, so he had won the Civil War. Started really Reconstruction, he was in earnest wanting to get opportunities and equity for black people, equal opportunity for black people. And then he retired and was in New York. He became a New Yorker. He became a big part of this city.
Yeah.
And he had a son named Kermit, who I think his name was Kermit, who that was the 1800s.
Yeah.
Sure.
So Kermit invested.
What a fucking great name.
Invested his money and all of his father's money with some asshole guy who took it and just left town and just took all of their money, every penny that they had. And so Grant went to visit Vanderbilt, who's outside of the Grand Central Station. There's a great statue of him. I think it was Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
Went to the richest man in New York City. Who was a hard ass, a guy who didn't care for charity or anything, but he brought what's his name? The sword that was Lee.
Well,
He had Robert E. Lee's sword that he surrendered to him. What? He had his Congressional Medal of Honor and the Bible that he took the oath of office in, and he gave them. He said, "I want to sell these to you because I have no money." And Vanderbilt said, Jesus Christ, Mr. President.
Holy shit.
We're not doing that. He said, I'm going to donate these to the national museums, and I'll give you he bought them for the nation.
Did he buy his biography? Isn't that what he...
No, so here's what happened with the biography. It's the best part of his story, and it's actually his greatest legacy. But his autobiography is like the greatest ever written. Yeah. So... he met 2 guys on a train. He'd do anything for money at this point. His wife was very young. He was broke after everything he'd been through. He was broke, and his wife was young, and he was going to leave her destitute. So he met 2 guys on a train. They're like, "Why don't you write your autobiography? We'll pay you $1,000." And he was like, "Done."
What?
Oh,
so then, about a week later, he meets up with. Mark Twain was like his best friend, and Mark Twain said, "Why don't you write your autobiography, your memoirs?" And he said, "I'm doing that for these guys." And he goes, "What are they paying you?" And he goes, $1,000. And he's like, "Dude, what is wrong with you?" And he says, "Give me the book. I'll publish." Because Mark Twain had started his own publishing company because he hated publishers. He said, "I'll publish it and I'll help you write it." And he said, "I promised those two guys." He's like, "Did you sign something?" He goes, "No, but I did. I gave my word." Fuck. So Twain, or his real name, what's his
Clemens.
Clemens travels to. I think he went to see Sherman. He went to see. He's like, I need to see somebody who he'll listen to. So he went to visit Sherman and said, please get him to do this. So Sherman wrote a telegram to Grant saying, for the love of God, give the book to Clemens. That's what the thing.
That's awesome.
So he wrote his autobiography, and the remarkable thing about it that I read was that there's like no adjectives in it. It's like all verbs and nouns. The entire book is verbs and nouns because he just says what happened. It's a very well written book. And so Clemens turned it into this special edition that you had to order one. You could get any color you wanted. And it was the first blockbuster book in American history. It made like $500,000 in the first month. Meanwhile, he had a goiter that was growing and growing.
Stogies. You always see him with the stogies?
Died of throat cancer like right as he finished the book.
Whoa.
And then his wife was made for life. Her first check from Twain was like $400,000.
Whoa.
Yeah, I think wasn't he buried here? And this monument.
And he's buried in Nixon is my favorite.
Dude, he's awesome.
He's the best. And again, as a character.
Yes.
Nixon gave the country one great gift that I wish was I wish it was taught like the speech that Lincoln has on his monument and the ask not what your country and all that shit. The greatest thing that he did, because it speaks more to what Americans live, is that when Nixon was shamed and destroyed and had to leave office, he had to fucking resign. He had to give, after a couple of I'm not a crook and this is all bullshit, he had to go and say, well,
all right,
I'm going to go and
still not a cook, but I'm going to get out of
here. Gerald Ford would take the oath of office at this time in this office. And he left. But before he left, he gave a speech to his staff, to the White House staff that was impromptu. It was just on his way to the helicopter. And he's copiously crying in the speech. There's video of it that you can see. You have to try to find the whole thing because there's clips that you can find on YouTube. But I actually ordered from C-SPAN a DVD of the whole speech. And they're all bawling, the whole staff, and his family standing behind him. And he just tells them, look, he's encouraging them. He said, this is a tough moment for all of us. He said, first of all, I don't want to discourage young people from being in public service. He was afraid of what happen.
Has happened.
Yes.
He was right.
He said, don't be discouraged from public office. It's a great calling. And he said, and for any mistakes that we made and all everything that's happened, not one person in this administration gained financially from anything, from being here, left richer than when they got here. He made it first, so he defended everybody that was there. And then he just starts reflecting. He reads from Teddy Roosevelt's autobiography, from his diary, when Teddy's wife and mother died at the same night. They both died of cholera or whatever on the same night. He was going from one room to the other.
Oh, yeah.
And they both died. And he was like at 21 or something. And he wrote this quote that was like, the light has gone out and it'll be darkness forever. And he said, so he read it to his staff and he said, that's how he felt, having lost his wife and his mom. And he went on and had this incredible life. So he's trying to say, so he says, no, don't be discouraged. Never be petty. Don't hate your enemies, because that's when you'd start to destroy yourself. He gets really introspective about everything that happened without talking about it. And then he says, it's horrible. He goes, he says, they'll never write a book about my mother, but she was a saint.
Oh, man.
And I think of her, like one of his brothers had tuberculosis and they had no money. So she moved to Arizona where the air was better. Mm. And she was a nurse, wet nurse. She nursed other people's babies for money in order that her son could live in Arizona. And he talks about his father, who was a lemon farmer, who had a failing lemon farm, and then he was a switchman on a streetcar. And he just talks about his parents and what they did for him and all that shit. He just cries. Oh, it's fucking beautiful. But it shows you a man at the height of American experience, destroyed from that height, which is the worst thing that can happen to a person, is to get that high and fall. And he just went, here's how this feels. He just told the world, this is how this feels. This is what this looks like. Yeah. And here's all I can say. And then he went and then he left. Incredible. I mean, he was one of the most influential people in American history.
Yeah. He ended Vietnam, right?
Yes.
That was already about done.
He was fucking Eisenhower's vice president.
There's a guy we know that's a bit of a conspiracy guy, but he's been pretty correct on everything so far, and he's got a book coming out on Watergate.
Yeah.
Okay.
And about how that was a little darker than it seemed.
Like so I knew a guy back when I was first living in the city as a comedian. There was a guy named Frank Gannon who had Frank Gannon wrote speeches for Nixon and was a very close friend of his. And weirdly, he became the guy who books the comedians on Letterman. And when I moved to New York back in 1990 or so, being on Letterman was all anybody wanted. So Gannon was the most important person in comedy at the time. And he was a strange guy who was very serious. And he would just come and he'd watch you. And if he liked you, he'd get Morty to come and maybe you'd be on the show. So he liked me. He never got me on the show, but he liked me. So I went to Letterman's office and met him. And I asked him about Nixon because he wrote, Nixon has one big biography called RN that Gannon co-wrote. And he told me that when you get a few drinks in Nixon, he says the same people that got the Kennedys got me. It's the same people that got. Yeah, he said it's the same machine.
Whoa.
That took out.
Yeah,
John and Robert
Kennedy
came after him. He said they just couldn't use bullets anymore because it was getting too. They were on
exactly what we said.
Yeah.
This is we said that without him.
Watergate was. He said Watergate was something that happened all the time. It was just like, and still does. I mean, it's not like oh my goodness. It's how things are done.
Yeah.
It's a safe with $1 million in it. What president doesn't have a safe with $1 million?
Yeah.
It was.
So that's Nixon's story. That was Nixon's story. He didn't say it in public, because the same as he conceded the presidency to Kennedy, which Kennedy stole. I mean, everyone knows that his father took suitcases of money to delegations and stole the presidency, and Nixon knew it, and he was like, "I'm not gonna. That's not good for the country to get into it." That's why he resigned instead of standing trial, and that's why he doesn't talk about that's the story, you know.
Yeah. That's
wild,
a good most interesting president.
Most interesting, I think, to me. Yeah, I mean, Johnson was also a fascinating guy.
Yeah.
Johnson was, and Reagan was kind of an empty-headed genius, incredible, knows how to just be. As long as somebody else is in the room, Reagan was brilliant.